Hey everyone, it's Rachel from Sugar Maple Farmhouse, and this morning we woke up to snow on the farm. It's all pretty much melted now, but we've had some flurries throughout the day, and we are going to take a temperature dip. So it is officially cozy season. It's really been cozy season for a little while here, but now our weather is really dropping off. And so today I thought I would make a cozy dish for you that is going to be perfect all the colder months of the year. Really, it works great all year round, but we personally like to eat it during the fall and winter when you really want some classic comfort food. And that is a chicken casserole with drop biscuits. Let's get started and I'll show you how to make it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to season chicken thighs. I have cut these up already. This is about 1¼ to 1½ pounds of chicken thighs, and I have just got a mixture here of thyme, oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, and a couple other things that I'm just going to put onto the chicken. So here's a closer shot so you guys can see how it looks. And I will use about half of my seasoning mix right now, and then about half of it a little later on in the recipe. I'm going to set the chicken aside, and then we are going to get things started in the pan. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some butter. And that is going to start melting nicely and pretty quickly in my hot pan here. When you are cooking this on the stove, I would say you want probably about a medium heat on your burner, which is what we have here on the cooktop. And I'm just going to get this butter all nice and melted. All right, now that this is all melted, I'm going to put in onions and shallots. So both of those things will go in until they soften. So I'm going to give them about 3 minutes probably. Okay, everything has just started softening in the pan, so now I'm going to add in the carrots, celery, and some garlic. And then again, I'm going to cook this for probably 3 to 5 minutes until these things start softening a little bit too. My pan, just so you all know, is 17 inches and it is 3.5 quarts. So that is what we are working in today. I love this pan, and I will leave a link to it in the description below. You do not need it, but it is an enamel cast iron, and I do cook in this pan and one other enamel cast iron pretty much all the time here and on my website. Now that it's been about 5 minutes, I'm going to put the chicken in the pan too. Make sure now to get the chicken in contact with the bottom of the pan. Don't let it sit on top of all the veggies you have in there. You definitely want to get it on the bottom because we are going to cook this a little bit until it's kind of browned and then add the rest of our ingredients. But we definitely want to get it cooked on the outside first. You can see how it's starting to brown up nicely there. Not perfect yet, but we're close. If you have some pieces that have cooked faster than the others, push those off to the side, and then make sure you get the pieces that haven't cooked as well yet in there so they can get a chance to cook too. So my chicken is looking pretty good. I'm going to add the rest of the seasoning in now. And then just mix that in nicely. This smells amazing already. Once all of the seasoning is in there, you now want to add a little bit of flour. This is going to help thicken our chicken and biscuits. And we're going to mix this in. Just make sure it kind of coats everything, that you get it in there. And once everything is covered, we will move on to the next step. Now you want to turn the stove down. So if you're making this on the stove, you want to turn it down to a simmer. And I'm going to add in some chicken stock. That is 1.5 cups of chicken stock. And then the next thing I'm adding in is heavy cream. If you want, you can use half and half. You don't have to use the heavy cream. I just personally think it tastes better with the heavy cream. So mix everything in really nicely together, get that cream and get that stock combined, and then make sure that your chicken is just below the level of the liquids in the pan. Mine is looking good. So I'm going to add in some fresh thyme now and some fresh oregano. I am a big fan of fresh herbs, so I like to add about 4 to 5 sprigs of thyme and then maybe 3 of the oregano. You want to let all of this cook down together for about 5 minutes. And in that time, I'm going to go ahead and make the drop biscuits. I just have to grab the butter and the buttermilk from the fridge. So the key to getting really great biscuits is to have cold butter. And that's what I have here. I'm going to put it in my food processor. And I'm going to combine it in here with the buttermilk. This is kind of a cheat. You can cut the butter into your flour mixture if you want with a biscuit cutter, but I like doing it this cheating way. It's faster doing it this way. Here is what that mix is going to look like in there. So you should have kind of clumps of butter just mixed in with the buttermilk. So to make the biscuits, I have 2 cups of flour, and to that I'm going to add baking soda, baking powder, a little bit of salt, and some garlic powder. And that is just going to go right in. And then I will just whisk it so it's all combined really nicely in there. While I'm doing this, the chicken is nicely simmering over here in the pan. Just checking it out, the sauce is thickening up really nicely. It's going to be such a beautiful meal. Okay, so let's add the buttermilk and butter to our bowl here. That's all in there. That's what it looks like. I will tell you, I'm not very careful about doing this in terms of making a well. I just kind of combine everything and go from there. Now I'm going to mix everything together in this bowl, and I'm using a spoon to do that, a wooden spoon. You can also use your hands. I might actually get in here with my hands in a minute and use those instead. I think it is time to go in with my hands. So here is what my biscuit mix looks like. It's a little shaggy, that's okay. It just can hold together all on its own if I squeeze it together, and that is what you are going for. Before I add the biscuits to the pan, I'm going to add in some peas. Turn off the heat for this part. You don't want to get the chicken overcooked, but just gently mix those in. And you can add different things too if you want at this point. If you like spinach in this, you can go ahead and add some spinach. Broccoli would be really good too. But we are keeping it simple and classic today. For the biscuits, I like to use an ice cream scoop. So you want to just take it and really just kind of have about what you would say is a small scoop of ice cream that can fit into your scoop. And that is what I'm going to now just drop on top of the chicken casserole here. Here's how this looks as it's coming together. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good. This is just such a lovely, lovely comfort food dish. Now that all my biscuits are in, I'm going to pop this in the oven at 375 for about 14, 15, 16 minutes. You really just want to make sure that your biscuits are fully cooked before you pull this out. While that is cooking up in the oven, I'm going to chop some more fresh herbs. I always like to top this with a little bit of fresh basil. I kind of love basil in everything, so it's just kind of how I roll. And fresh parsley. And then of course we have some more thyme over here that I will put on it. And then I will chop some more fresh oregano. Actually, we'll just pull the leaves off and chop them that way, I think. Now you don't have to add all of these if you don't want to. Like I said, I just love adding really a lot of fresh herbs to my food. And as we're going into the colder season, I know that we won't be able to find these for too much longer. I've planted some stuff here inside that I'm hoping I can get to work through the winter that I'll be able to use. And if you want to do that too, they have little small plants. They have seedlings at the grocery store right now. So you can always go and try to find those and pot those up in your house. Just make sure the pot you're using is large enough to actually allow it to grow. And it's not kind of one of those teeny tiny pots that isn't going to give you enough really to have throughout the winter. Also, if you guys are looking for a chicken pot pie recipe, that recipe of mine is in my cookbook, and I will leave a link to that in the description for you as well if you want to go and grab a copy of that. It has been out over a year now. I can't believe it, and the reviews on it are fantastic. You can go to Amazon and see them. So it was just such a labor of love. I'm so proud of it. And if any of you have purchased it already, thank you so much, and I hope that you are enjoying it too. Okay, so you want to test your biscuits by going in with a toothpick, or in my case, a skewer. And if it comes out clean, they're done. So these are all, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in for maybe just another minute or two to give some of them a little bit more time. I also would love it if they brown a little bit more, so I'm going to add just a bit of extra virgin olive oil to the tops of them. Might not really have enough time for them to brown, but we'll see. We are all done. This looks amazing. It smells incredible. I cannot wait to dig in. The biscuits look perfect, and so does the chicken casserole. So the biscuits don't always brown like a biscuit in the oven normally would, and that's okay. If you do want them to brown, you can add a little butter to the top at the beginning of the process, or a little extra virgin olive oil on top of them, or even a little light egg wash. I'm going to top everything with my fresh herbs now. So a little bit more of that oregano. A little bit of this parsley. And I'm just going to add my basil to my individual plate because the kids won't always want that on here. And then some thyme. And here is what the chicken casserole with drop biscuits looks like, all put together and finished. Oh my gosh, this is just so amazing. So good. The flavors in the chicken casserole are all coming together with that chicken thigh, the chicken thighs in there, that darker meat, kind of a richer flavor. A lot of that those dried herbs that we've put in there, the fresh herbs, the different vegetables, and of course the drop biscuit. Thank you guys so much for following along today. I hope that you love the chicken casserole with the drop biscuits. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the comment section below and I'll be sure to get back to you. If you have any questions about the recipe, there is a full blog post up at sugarmaplefarmhouse.com with all the ingredients and all the step-by-step instructions. You can find that all there, and I will leave a link in the description below. And if you have not subscribed yet, I would love to have you subscribe and come on over. I cook, I craft, I garden, a little bit of everything kind of here on the farm. And if you like to do a little bit of everything too, I hope that you will come and join me. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.